Hi, so this video I'm about to show you, it was filmed a while ago and it's kind of the beginning of the making of this section of rail, but I've only just managed to recover the video from my phone, so it is a bit out of sequence. So this is the third video, but really it should be at the beginning of this set of videos. And I thought, well, that was not, it's my first ever YouTube filming for YouTube, so the format is wrong. I just thought it was it's fairly useful because it kind of shows you how to make the frog, the section of VRail which the rest of the point is constructed around. So yeah, if you want to have a look. Okay, let's see what we've got. So I've glued down some brass strips as sleepers, there, and there. And this will only work on 3-rail track because the outer rails share the same polarity, which is different to 2-rail track where they have opposite. So therefore, if you try doing this with 2-rail, you just end up with a massive short circuit, but on this it works. So the first thing I need to do is to solder in the V, which is this. So I've already shaped these two pieces of rail, so they have nice sharp ends. So we're going to solder probably this one first, and then probably that one next to it, and then you should end up with a nice V shape. So first thing always to do is we need some flux. So let's pop some flux on there, and we will, just to help things along a little bit, I'll just get some. So this is some plastic sleepers that actually came with the rail that I bought. So if I just show you quickly, so you can buy it in strips like this, which is Pico FlexiTrack, which is obviously set up as 2-rail, but we're going to turn it into 3-rail, and then you can just obviously take the rails off and then use these little pieces to build your track back up again. So, oops. So I'm just going to thread this into here, so that it'll make it a little bit more stable, hopefully. Fingers crossed, eh? Right, so that's nice and stable now. So we're going to get that all into position. So then, look very carefully on the drawing. So if you look at this template, you can see everything is where it should be. However, it is a guideline. All the geometry of the track is basically decided by this V shape at the start. So we start here and then we build it out, checking that everything stays in gauge. And the way to do that is to use these plastic sleepers, because we know that when the rails go through there, it's the correct gauge. So right, so we've got a nice position there. Just put a bit more flux on, just there. I'll pop my mask on, so I'm not going to talk for a little bit, and see if I can actually solder that joint up. Got some nice solder here, which I buy online because it's kind of the best, and if you use ordinary solder, it just makes it harder to do, really. So here we go. So I've got some nice pack of new solder ready to go. So I'll just unroll that a little bit. So first of all, I need to tin the joints up. So we're just going to get some solder on there. Find my mask, which is floating around here somewhere. Okay. So obviously when you solder using flux, it gives off some pretty horrible fumes. So you really don't want to be breathing them in. So good idea to wear a mask. Also, probably when your partner's not around, keep the door open. Glasses back on. So we use weather glasses for this. Right, there we go. So we should have some nicely tinned up bits of copper sleeper just there. So now we're going to, probably just as a belt braces, we'll just put some solder on the bottom of that as well. Then the flux. Right, out of the way. Right, so next thing, slightly trickier, is to actually stick that to that. So it has to be very precise. So use probably a couple of these little screwdrivers to hold it in place. Ideally, want some little tweezers, but I can't find them at the minute, so I'll just try and do it without them, but it might not work. So just use my hand. I hold on to the plastic. It shouldn't. My hand shouldn't get too hot. That's what I'm a bit concerned with. So just try and get some melting happening. So look right over the top of it. Okay, but after a little bit of trouble, first one's in. So now got to the second one, which is this piece. So again, we'll find some track, some sleepers rather. I'll just trim them off. Maybe just use a knife, it'd be easier. In there. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so we want it this side. So, similar thing. Danger with this, of course, is because you're soldering on brass, it heats up very quickly and tends to melt the joint that you've just done, which can be a bit annoying, but see what happens. I've not really tried this before, so I normally use a different material which probably works better, but we'll see how we go. I think we need to trim that again. And the knife. Take it off a minute. There. Okay, so let's just thread these back on. Well, that's probably as close as I can go because the rubber's a bit thin there. So I want that side on. And hopefully a little bit of jiggling around we can make all that fit together. That comes out a little bit. That one there, that should fit in that gap, I hope. That's the hope anyway. If it doesn't work, well, I need to take that one out for now and we'll sort that out later. Right, so okay, so we want a nice V shape. It's very important that that is quite sharp at the end. So what we'll do is get the pliers, and we'll just, and also the height is important as well. So you just have to do it with your fingers, I'm afraid. So let's just stick the mask on, and off we go again. There's a bit of flux. There's quite a bit of solder on there already, but we'll just put a wee bit more on. Helps things along with the soldering iron anyway. Gets nice and hot. Yeah, better, always a good idea not to solder your hand, but there you go. Things happen. Just want to make that a bit nicer. So we could try and put a bit more solder into it. So obviously we'll flux it a lot. Don't really want the soldering on here for too long because it will just all melt again. So I'm just going to literally just whack it on there and hope for the best. Like that. Let it dry. And yeah, see what happens. So
good look. Always good to have a look at it first. So obviously put on a bit more than I actually want. So I'm just going to wind it flat and hope the joint holds. Let's have a look. Let's take this mask off a minute. Okay, so we've got one of my favourite tools. So let's see if we can do this. Let's break it all apart. Right, so some of it's broken apart. I kind of suspected would happen, but that's okay. The bit that's important has actually stayed in the right place, which is quite useful, really. Okay, so I'm going to have to piece all this back together. So what we could do, I think what might be a bad idea, if we use super glue, and obviously super glue melts, which is not really what you want. So I think we'll try some other glue and we'll let it dry and we'll call it a day. Let's try some PVA. So just lift it off there and that. So I know what I'm doing. Go there. Seems to be a bit flatter as well, actually. Got it off. Right, so I'll quick look at that again. So yeah, so I want that one in there. So it's working. Yep, got something coming. Off. Okay, stickers back in. Get them in the right position, exactly. Right, it probably looks a bit horrible and messy, but the great thing about PVA glue is it dries clear and it dries flat. And also, don't forget, at some point all this will be covered in ballast. So it doesn't really matter that much if it looks a tiny bit messy. Just want to get all these bits in exactly the right place. So flatten that one down, just move that one ever so slightly in and across. And just get that exactly where we want it. Just there. Right, hopefully that will all stay in place. Oh, that slips my fingers. Of course it did. Right, so there we go. I'll get my fingers off of there, would be a good idea. Just want to get that looking a bit more parallel. That can stay there. Take my fingers off, take the fingers off. Check everything's in line. That's good. Okay, I think we'll call it a day for now. Just to make sure I've unplugged everything. Don't want any hot soldering irons left on during the day, so that's all good. That's all safe. Let's give that a little wipe on my cloth. Try not to wipe my hand that I've done before now, but hey, things happen. Whoops. Put that back in there where it's nice and safe. Just stuck on something down there. Oopsie daisy. Just move that forward a bit. There we go, that's fine. Right. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed watching that. It's quite amusing how frustrating it can be. But yeah, you get the general idea. So see you on the next one. Bye.